right here, the background, all the phones are out, all the cameras are out, and they're just here to capture one man. But I also think it's an interesting opportunity, not just for Lionel Messi to capitalize on playing here, but also for the club, all the players that are out there to really show themselves well, give a good account to themselves, and make and show to the world that the standard of Major League Soccer has elevated, because it absolutely has. Within the last 10 years, 7 years, 5 years, it continues to grow even as the league expands. And I just think all these players are going to get the opportunity to show themselves as players that are growing, players that, you know, if you think about the younger players, the likes of Ian Frey, who started a ton recently, Noah Allen, who's filled in at that left back position, David Ruiz in midfield, Benja Cremaschi, who shares Argentinian descent with Lionel Messi. All these young players are going to be given a platform, and who knows, maybe they'll be on their way to Europe next. And I think that's the big thing for everyone here, is to show to the world MLS, maybe since the last time you watched, has gotten a lot better. And I think you'll start to see the league grow as a result.
The league's done a fantastic job over the last 10, 15 years of really trying to develop youth academies and develop those young players to get them up to Major League Soccer. We've seen it all around the league. The famous refrain, play your kids, and
yes.
We're seeing that all around the league, and it's a beautiful thing to see, to show that, if you have the talent, if you really dedicate yourself early on with an MLS club, you have an opportunity to make it to that first team. And, oh, yeah, by the way, we can drop in a guy like Lionel Messi onto the team, and you can play, a brand new, 19, 20-year-old, kid coming up through the ranks into the academy can go and play with a guy like Lionel Messi. It's really fun to see and interesting to see, right, how that dynamic is going to work.
And Kieran, one of the things that you talked about was sort of the raising of the standards. What do you think are the things that young players can learn off of Leo?
Well, I mean, listen, pretty much everything. Not only is he just an unbelievable player, but he's also an unbelievable character. He has an impeccable image as just a human being. He seems like he's got a great family, extremely humble. And so, yeah, I think they're just going to learn huge amounts from the person first, and then as a player on top. But I mean, just look, just levels of skill, balance, timing, power, all of those things he is 100 at. And so, these are the things that hopefully, as he starts to train more and more, players are going to pick small things up and learn from them. But I mean, as a player, what more motivation do you need at the moment to after a difficult start to the season? This is really a blessing for the team in Sergio and Leo coming. And so, hopefully, we mentioned the other day, Chris, about it being kind of a clean slate and a new era within the club. How do these players respond to that? This time of the club, and hopefully, yeah, they can use it as motivation and try and really step up their game and do everything they can to perform at a high level for the club.
And one of the things that interests me from sort of an on-field standpoint is obviously Leo Messi and Sergio Busquets. I think this is where we can sort of bring him into the conversation as well. They're sort of players where Sergio Busquets in the middle part of the pitch sort of dictates where all the chess pieces are, right? Everything around him, where the movement is around him, how to dictate the tempo, and Lionel Messi does that in the attacking third of the pitch. So you have two players that are so good at orchestrating the game. Lionel Messi, obviously we showed the graphic of all his career goals, but the career assists, and I can only imagine, the secondary assists that count in Major League Soccer, I can only imagine how many of those he would have had if they were counted in other leagues. He creates so much, but sort of knows the game is slow for him in terms of he knows how to process everything. He knows what's going on around him. And I do wonder how all the other players around him sort of get used to, oh, this is the run. And if I make the run, the ball will be played into me into the precisely perfect position, and I can then go and score a goal. I do wonder sort of what that adjustment period is and how Tata Martino will bring the players along in terms of being on the same wavelength as this genius, this player who understands the game at every fundamental level.